everyone, I'm Stephen Maori and welcome to DirtWorX New Zealand Speedway show. Look, tonight, well, we had a big one last week. We had the Bay Park Busters on, but this one's even bigger because we've had somebody travel further than anybody else. Let's have a look at our first panellist for the night, the 48P car, Hermansen Transport Minisprint of Palmerston North, Christian Hermansen. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve. It's great to be here.
It's good to have you here, mate. Big travel today?
Oh, you're not too bad. Only 4.5 hours, so it's not too bad.
I hate your shirt, but we'll talk about that later.
Love the shirt.
Yeah, love the shirt. Moving on, we've got our Sunlive Principals Challenge winner. Welcome, Bays Nick House. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Steve. Good to be here.
You're a bit of a superstar, mate.
Well, yeah, I don't know about that.
Of course, you're a principal at Welcome Bay School, and you guys cleaned up in the weekend.
Yep, it was very, very positive, mate. It was a great weekend.
Whose idea were the lights on the banner that you guys won?
A couple of mums. Yeah, brought a bit of glitz to the scene. I certainly wouldn't have had lights if I'd been in charge.
Moving on, we've got another 2 times New Zealand Saloon car champion, the driver of the on-site caterers, RMD K-Mac Corvette of the 2NZ, Brent McClymont. Brent, nice to see you here.
Good to be here, Steve.
Brent, you, a lot of people don't know, you were actually here on the pilot series. You've actually been here and done this before, but this is the first time people have seen you on the panel show.
Yep, just the first one. I don't know if that actually made it to here, but it's good to be back here and do a proper gig.
Of course. Love the interview, the after-race interview after the weekend, mate. You looked really good.
Yeah, I can't really remember that, but maybe it did happen, but yeah.
Some people have too much Waikato. Moving on to, well, somebody who's been there, done that many times. Another 2 times New Zealand Super Saloon champ, driver of the Carrymore Performance, visual effects Lovelady Ford Mustang, 7M Brent Emerson. Hey, how you going, go?
Good, thanks, Steve-o.
Busy day for you today?
Did nothing. Made out.
That sounds very exciting. Look, we're going to move straight into and talk about the Sunlive Mini Stocks Principals Challenge. Nick, that was, well, it was one hell of a show, wasn't it?
Great night. Absolutely great. Yeah.
You had a lot of support going into it. I know that I know you've got the benefit of having a few people in the school that have certainly got a Speedway mind, haven't they?
Yeah, one of my teachers is a friend of yours, I believe, and she certainly hooked me up with a bit of insight before the race, and yeah, quite a bit of gear too. I had this chap's gear which helped me out, I think.
I mean, you can't go wrong. You've got a 2 times New Zealand Super Saloon Car Champions gear, not yours, go. It was Shane McIntyre's. The helmet, you look fantastic with that helmet on, as well as, of course, gloves and boots and stuff. I mean, I'm a washed-up race car driver. There's no chance I'm ever going to wear it again. So it was good to see somebody actually go out and do what I could never do, which was win.
I felt flash, mate. It was good.
Look, one of the things I got asked for during the week was, at what time did you actually realise that you'd won the race?
At the end. Yeah,
Usually when you find out you've won a race, Steve.
Yeah, when Doug Maguire from Tauranga Primary rolled his car, The lights came on, or we sort of had to stop, but the orange light.
Really?
The orange light.
Red light, right?
Yeah. And I sort of saw everyone else stop, but I was watching the orange flickering, so I just kept on going. And I've actually watched the clip on online back, and the commentators saying, "Oh, Nick House is still going. Why is he still going? And he's gained 50 metres." And but they were orange lights, and the rules can carry on slowly. So
it's funny you talk about the rules, because I was looking at Matt Simeon from Pillins Point Primary School, and Matt saw the red light, and look, I won't lie, I had a chat to him afterwards about what you do under a red light, and I spoke to a few of the drivers there, and these cars belong to somebody else, of course, don't they? They're not your cars. I said to them, look in your rearview mirror and wait for the car behind you to stop, and then you stop. But he just decided he wasn't going to look in his rearview mirrors, and nor was he going to stop.
I didn't have a rearview mirror in mine. But what happened was, I carried on, and then this guy on the quad in the middle was going, "Oh!" And I was like, "What?" and I stopped, and then he just lots of sign language, and I'm not in the scene of race cars, so I kind of didn't know what to do, and eventually
That's
sort of
a good thing.
Eventually he beckoned me over, and I said, "What?" I thought he was going to DQ. I thought I must have done something wrong or something, and he said, "You've won, mate, you've won, go and pick up the flag." And I went, "What? It's over, I won." Yeah, so I didn't even know it was finished.
I've got to give you credit. One thing I was always told is, when you get your first flag, your first checkered flag, drive as slowly as you can, because you may never get another one. And I don't think I've seen somebody drive as slowly under that conditions.
Yeah.
You gloated, and it was good to see.
Yeah, I had to rub it in a bit. So,
so you must have had a few phone calls from different, teachers or different principals, etc., that were in the race that said, "Come on, you got the You got paid.
There's a
You paid.
few bitter people, and today actually we had a principal's lunch and like our interview wrap up, and yeah, there's a few bitter people there today. And it was kind of good for me because I'm new to the district, so I went in as a bit of a dark horse, I think. And a few people have asked me if I've raced before, but I haven't. I'm just a farm boy and sort of grew up tearing around the paddocks.
But you're a rock climbing, rafting farm boy. You've been there and done that. You've done a fair bit of extreme stuff, bit of mountain biking.
Yeah, I used to race mountain biking back in the day before kids, and yeah, I like to go fast, and I've always wanted to race something. So, yeah.
But the guy next to you, he has won everything that there is to win in the mini stocks. So he's relating to everything that we're talking about the glamour of winning. The guys the guys to your left, not so much.
No, those two have probably won more than me.
Oh, the Brent show. Those guys are very. You actually, there are a lot of wins around you right now.
I'm an esteemed company.
But what's funny is I don't think any of them actually got through to any tertiary level or anything. So I think you probably aren't in the esteemed company. Because they would have worked out that race cars cost a lot of money, and maybe we should stick to becoming a school teacher or a principal.
Well, mate, being down there to do what you're doing, because I certainly couldn't afford to play the game that everyone down there is playing. So I'm obviously not that clever.
One thing you said is, hey, call me maybe. Let's if you want a racing car driver, you're prepared to go pro.
Look, I'm prepared to put in the hard yards. I'm into it.
Okay. Well, look, we're going to go through and have a chat to each of these drivers and have a bit of a driver's profile now. So let's go to driver's profile time. Alright, it's driver profile time. Well, I talked about them before. The 48p Hermansen Transport mini stock. You say it a lot.
Mini stock?
Well, you've raced a mini stock before.
That was a few years ago.
Well, you still look about the same speed as a mini stock.
Oh, gee, thanks, mate.
Christian Hermansen, you drove all this way to be on the show.
Yeah, well, after you gave me a bit of stick last week, I decided I better get up here and bash you, so...
I'm not going to cut to and show a clip of that, but I think it went something on the lines of, does anyone know who Christian Hermansen is? And I think everyone said, nah, and the quietest person on the said, oh yeah, I think he's from Palmerston North, and I said, ha ha, Hermo, see, nobody knows you.
Yep.
All right.
Who are you again?
STM.
Oh, never
Yeah.
heard of you, mate.
You know you've hit it in the big time when you can refer to yourself as an acronym and people know who you're talking about.
You're married.
All right, race number.
So 48p.
Are you married? Single?
No, I'm not married, but I've got a lovely girlfriend, Lauren.
She's so pretty.
Thanks, mate.
I know.
Stop greasing.
I'm sorry. Chassis, engine.
Looking.
I'll show you later, mate. She's a good-looking girl.
Right,
Lovely
moving on.
person. Sorry, engine, chassis.
So we run a Brecker chassis and Hartley engines and motorsport 40 score.
Is that like derived from a midget or anything like that?
Nah, so it's just a BDA Ford, and Nelson Hartley was brave enough to put basically a overhead cam kit on it, which he built out of his CNC machine, so get a few revs and a few more horsepower out of it, so yeah.
Hartley, that's a big name in Speedway.
Yeah, big name in Speedway and big name in circuit racing as well, obviously.
Is that why you're a Red Bull fan?
No, like Sebastian Vettel, because he cleans up your old mate.
Give me the finger.
No,
Give me the
I wouldn't
finger.
do that.
No, you don't want to do it.
No, Sebastian gave you enough of that when he won the championship again.
They have no idea what we're talking about. Sebastian Vettel. I'm a huge Formula 1 fan. Yeah.
Oh, that finger!
Yeah, the Vettel finger. What's your best track, White?
My best track's probably Palmerston North. I've raced there, probably done, 1,000 laps around that place, and it's a good show. They put on a good track every week, so yeah, love Palmerston North.
The worst track?
Well, I don't really know. I've had a roll at Hawke's Bay and a roll at Huntly, so...
I filmed the one at Huntley, that was awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Sorry
No,
about
it
the Palmy
wasn't
in the way.
awesome. It was expensive.
Most memorable moment?
Probably coming second at Mini Stocks in Paradise.
I knew he was going to say this,
in
eh?
2009. Memorable because it was second, but also memorable because it would have been nice to win. But
You're quite the superstar, so if you could race something else, what would you race?
sprint car or a midget?
Could you do donuts like James Darm?
Probably not. They were awesome.
They were fantastic. We'll show you some of that later on. And your biggest rival in Speedway?
I've got a few, but it's probably Jamie Larson. We've raced against each other since we started, basically.
Haha, Declan Rowe, he didn't choose you.
Oh, Declan's a good guy as well. But, Jamie and I, we've had some pretty ding-dong battles. Remember one race, and I think it was Wanganui, and we changed position, I think, twice every lap or something for 10 laps. Then ended up finishing about 1,000th of a second away from each other. So yeah, we've bounced off each other a couple of times.
Although it's the end of your questions, I've got one more question to ask. What's your favourite Aaron Drever line?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
That's everyone's favourite. All right, let's move on to Nick House, the Principals Challenge winner. Sunlive Principals Challenge. They paid money, so we've got to make sure we... All right, what was your race number?
43M.
Why is it M?
I have no idea. Painted on the car.
M for massive, and if you rolled upside down, it could be for Welcome Bay, which of course is cool.
True.
So you're married?
I am. I'm married to Lisa, and I've got 4 kids.
4 kids?
4
Geez,
kids.
no one, you can't race cars.
Same here. I think that was my excuse. Do you remember?
Not about something.
So, chassis, engine, do you know what you're running?
Yep, it was a Toyota 1300. Hey?
Yeah,
1300.
right.
No wonder you won.
Yeah, well,
Let's stop. He doesn't know. Don't be mean.
I
The
just
guy's a
went in
principal,
second.
and he could probably go back to the old days where you can whip out a strap.
Okay, I'll be nice.
Now, what was your best track and why?
it would have to be Bay Park, and that would be my only track.
Well, actually, I think there was a worse track. So, what's your worst track?
It would be the school field, which we had the car on. Jason Gillen was the owner of the car. He brought it down the week before, and I laid a few bit donuts down on the field and had a race with my caretaker on his lawnmower.
Now I know the caretaker, Alan. He's a lovely man. How did he go on that?
Oh, it was pretty sad.
Did you mow him down or what?
Hey? Yeah. Well, technically he won because he only went halfway and back, but I got sort of carried away at the end doing a few donuts, and by the time I'd got back he had crossed the finish line, so...
Now, your most memorable moment in Speedway?
Oh,
There's been a lot. What's the most recent?
where do I draw upon? It would have to be Saturday night.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That was the Sunlive Principals Challenge at Bay Park Speedway.
Yeah.
What'd you do then? Just went out and dominated, eh?
Yeah, I'm always in it to win it, and no, if you know, as long as I sort of give my best on the night, whatever it is I'm doing it.
Too.
Whatever it is, I do like I am a bit competitive.
That's funny because Big Mouth theory down there is win it or bin it.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
So very competitive man. So if you could race something else, what would you race?
Well, I've actually got one of my best friends is Andrew Stroud, and I've been on the back of his bike a couple of times, and I do quite like motorcycles, but I like my legs to be an engine as well, so I'd still like mountain biking and that kind of thing. If I had my ultimate bucket list dream, it would be V8s at Bathurst or somewhere Pukakari or somewhere. We've always wanted to do that.
It's strange how you bring a principal who's actually had some sort of education. He can actually speak to you properly. So look, I congratulate you on that one there. Who was your biggest rival?
Well, going into it, I didn't really know because to be fair, I was getting talked up a little bit. And but I thought it was just that talk you up to bring you down, so I wasn't listening at all to it. But I thought Matt Simeon might be a bit of a dark horse because he's ex-Bay Plenty rugby player, and I thought just a competitive guy.
I play rugby against the guy all the time, and I tell you what, man, I've dropped my shoulders into his head that many times, and he just, I knew he was going to be cake.
Yeah.
Power to weight, tall but slim man, Matt Simeon.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Damien Harris, who came in second, he was a dark horse too because he's new to the area as well, and he a couple more laps he might have. Who knows?
There was no chance. You have no idea how far you were ahead.
No, I didn't even know I'd won. So.
Well, yeah, and of course, hey, very nice pass on 3 and 4 for the lead. That was stunning. I thought I was watching Mike Griffiths out there.
Good on, Mike.
All right, let's move on to the next person, Brent McClymont. Brent, let's go straight. Are you married, single?
Yep, I was. No, I am. Yeah, married to Hayley. 2 kids, Luke and Emma.
Lukey, he is such a cool little boy.
Yeah, he loves Speedway. He's trying to get me to finish up so he can get his bum in the seat.
He's certainly enjoying the Cuzzy Bros mini stock, isn't he?
Oh, definitely. Yep. He wants to get in there one day, I think. So in the near future.
So race number. You might not know this, so I can help.
At the moment,
Yes.
2.
Do you know what your actual race number is? Because this guy hasn't worn his race number in 5 years.
5M.
That's pretty good.
Mm.
And if it was upside down, it'd be
Pass.
5W.
That's right.
So what are you racing? Chassis engine?
With a K-Mac chassis built by Kerry McIntyre. Motor preparations 350 Chev motor in it.
Ultra Honga, eh?
Ultra Honga, yep.
Is there anyone in Tikawiti? That's where I'm from, eh? You should have gone there.
Pretty close.
They've got really
Yeah,
good
there
tractor
will be.
places down there in
There will be
Tikawiti.
someone that builds.
Make shoes
something
down
there.
there too, don't they?
Yes, yes they do. Well done, Goat.
Beat your feet.
Yes, now best track.
Bay Park, I like Bay Park. Also like Huntley. First New Zealand title at Huntley for a small track. But Bay Park you can't beat the speed and the amount of cars you can get on there obviously, and deep corners and wide straights, so it makes it a little bit easier for passing.
A forgiving track?
Forgiving?
Like, is it like Bay Park? Is it a forgiving track?
Definitely, yeah. You got a bit more room, but hey, everyone uses that room as well, so you go to a smaller track, it's a lot of people do stick to the pole line, so
Well, you end up
Found the wall on the weekend, didn't you, Brent?
yeah. No matter how wide those corners are, we still found it.
speed, mate. Speed.
Yeah.
It's not speed that kills; it's the stop at the end. It's funny you talk about Huntley when you won the New Zealands. Your son was asleep on my lap. He'd come and he was hanging out with me, and
Yep.
we were watching. And I actually had to wake him up when we'd worked out that there's a pretty good chance that Daddy's going to win the New Zealands, and we took him down so he could wave at his dad.
Yep, no, it's good. Huntley's a good track.
Worst track.
Worst, I don't think I've got a bad one. I have a pretty bad run at Gisborne a couple of times, but we went there 2 weeks ago and had a better run, so they've sort of taken a bit of banking out, so it makes it better for passing and that. So
Another one that's going to be hard for you is because you had there. I don't think there's anything you haven't won. What's the most memorable moment in Speedway?
probably winning that first New Zealand title at Huntley, I'd say. The class had only just sort of become a national class 2 years prior, or a year prior to that, so that was only the second time it had been run, so that was pretty good.
Now, a lot of people don't realise the first winner at the Bay Park Speedway, the new track, of course, was Maurice Cowling. No, it wasn't. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yes, it was. But the first class that was drawn to race that night was actually the Saloon car, and you won that one there, so that must have been a big one for you as well.
Yeah, it was awesome, and we also won the last race at the old track, so
So you got to have your stats there, Hermo.
pretty good, yeah. Something to go by.
So I know you've raced. You've had a skid in a Super Saloon, and I think you've got a couple left to go in the sprint cars as well, and a little bit of a side deal you've done. But if you could race anything else, what would it be?
I wouldn't mind Super Saloon. You could obviously take the technology we know now into that class, but yeah, the sprint car was still pretty cool.
Speed, mate.
Yeah, either or, like the speed difference is pretty.
And your biggest on-track rival or off-track?
I always say Steve Loudon. Back in the day at Wakaraka Park, he was hard competitor. Now his kids are into it, so they've both got mini stock. So I see he's sort of been kicked out of the seat.
And the last question is, how's your beer?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's
Got a bit in there still.
That's
so
good.
all right.
All right, let's move to the next person. Oh, you've been on there a lot, but I've never actually done a driver profile with you. We've talked every one of these questions, but let's just get it down here on record right now. Race car number?
17.
You've been every other letter though, haven't you?
You've had a few on the sleeve.
You've been a P, B,
C, G.
E, F, G, H, I. Hey, okay. Have you been Huntley?
Listens for Nick, mate. I think your alphabet's a bit.
Yeah, I reckon.
Can you say the alphabet backwards?
Not as fucked up as you.
I can say the alphabet backwards. I was just hoping you'd say go on, you do it.
Alright.
I'm not going to. ZWX, WVU, TSRQ, PON, MLK, JI, HF, EDCBA. Boom! All right, married,
Doesn't
kids.
sound like 26 litres.
Yeah.
Half married, 7 kids between us. I've got 3 all grown up. Melissa's got 4.
She is beautiful. How the hell did you get her? Because seriously,
I know.
you're a lucky man, eh?
She was the barmaid though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have expected, I guess it's lucky McClymont's married.
She got my number, I think.
What sort of engine do you run?
I've got a 413 Cornet, built in the USA by Jack Cornet.
Hey, isn't that the same type of engine, the same size engine that Craig Cardwell ran last year?
It's his engine last year, smaller than one it's got now, and it's faster. Take that, Craig.
I was going to ask, I didn't want to ask what the chassis was because I knew you'd just tell me anyway.
It's a lovely lady.
She's a lovely lady. Is John giving you lots of feedback? Because seriously, man, you've been getting smoked in the last couple of meetings. One was too loud, and seriously, man, you were just cake.
When?
In the weekend.
Oh, whatever, clown.
That Pro X dominated you.
fuck, I let him go.
I had a whole lot of Pro X questions because we actually had Steve Muir who was supposed to be on the show but couldn't be there. So
how bloody dedicated he is, they can't even make it.
look, I'm sure he had his reasons. What's your best track?
Best track? I really haven't got a best track, but a bit like Brent, Huntley was Gisborne won my first championship. Huntley the second one.
That's when I went to Huntley and said, I'm coming to support you because you'll win, and you did. Same thing I said to Brent
Well, I
McClymont.
went over North Island there as well, and yeah, probably for success rate, yeah, Huntley, and it's always been a good track, and past Shane McIntyre on the outside there, that was fucking lovely.
Well done. Worst track?
Twice, Speedfest and the New Zealand champs, there you go.
Worst track?
Probably to say Blenheim.
There seems to be everyone's... Oh, there's a few people that do well
One
in
year we
Blenheim.
raced here with the champs, and we actually all went down to the $2 shop and bought those glow sticks and put them on our bonnets just to help with the lighting. It was shit. Anyway, moving on.
What's your most memorable moment? Which one of those New Zealand champs or North Islands or Grand Prix, but you haven't won them? Which one you haven't won?
Yeah, obviously New Zealand's is a pretty cool to win. There was a bit of a tear in my eye, especially at Gisborne, because that's where it all started for me. And you know, to have my parents there too, that was pretty cool because they've supported me all the way through too. You know, they're getting older now, and so am I. But anyway, moving on. And my kids were there too. But probably my most memorable one is winning the North Islands for the first time at Huntley, and I had no chance whatsoever. I blew a power steering in one and got taken out in another. Came from the back to the front in the last one.
Was it
was
it Donald Gregory that took you out?
No, that fat little fucker wasn't there. But anyway, yeah, that was probably my most memorable win there because, yeah, came right through the whole field.
If you could drive something else, what would it be?
Probably a bit like Nick, V8 supercar around Bathurst, and Peter Brock was my idol. As you know, I've got a V8 Commodore that I run in Targa and circuit raced. I'd love to take that to Bathurst, but yeah, doing Bathurst would be my bucket list for racing.
If I could just put this out here, I'm a Ford fan and Peter Brock died on my birthday.
Peter Brock drove Ford and Holden, mate. He had a stint in Fords, so he's just like me. I think we're quite alike.
And who's your biggest rival? I was so going to get just non-PC just then, sorry.
Biggest rival? Shit. Probably...
You can go really far back though, so...
Oh no, it's got to be a current because things have got a lot faster. Ian Burson probably, he's Mr. He's Mr. Up there at the moment. He's South Island's top dog and had some good battles last year. Don't interrupt, I'm talking. Jesus, you've got a bad habit of that. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to running with him at Christchurch this year with our champs and yeah, see what happens.
We're going to talk about our sponsors now, but I don't really want to interrupt. You just want to say that... No, just say, like, everyone check that these are sponsors. Can you please support them? Because that's what...
Yeah, well, obviously, Lovelady Race Cars.
Not your sponsors, mine.
Oh, yours?
Yeah.
Fuck, well, I don't know your sponsors are proud.
Look at the camera and say, check out these sponsors.
Check out these sponsors. Mary May Productions. Carrymore Performance. Fuck you. Alright, don't forget to check out those sponsors. As usual, every time we go to the sponsors, we find our panellists continuously talking about everything to do with Speedway. Now they're looking going, let's start talking. Guys, how are we? How was that chat? Good.
Good catch up, hey?
Interrupted it.
Yeah, look, I'm sorry, but as I say, every week this show is all about me and you guys just get to enjoy that. Moving on to Super Saloons in the weekend. Didn't Matt Smith go well? How was it for you?
Good, mate. Had a good... I ran out of talent in the last race, obviously, but...
No, but, like, you found an excuse.
I didn't find any excuses. It's just Cody fucked up.
No, but you were part of the banana racing team, and part of the banana racing team is that you blame the crew.
Yeah.
What?
Part of the banana racing team is that you blame the crew, so there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, every race car blames the crew, doesn't it? I don't know. I do.
Did you blame one? Apart from Nick's, because of course Nick went out and won, so he can blame himself for his
Well,
own
I got to the
talent.
front, but then I just let it go. All right?
You didn't spin up like you did in the last meeting, so that was good.
Yeah. It's all good. It was first time out. So anyway, yeah, we've come a long way, Steve. But
The car
I
looks-
was happy with the weekend. Sorry.
The car looks stunning.
Thank you.
Tony's done a great job. Actually, Tony signed written 3 of the cars that were in here and not yours. But there's a Palmy thing. So all the mount cars that were represented on DirtWorX tonight were signed written by Tony from Visual Effects.
Tony Hoovel.
Hoovel. His last name's not actually Hoovel, it's just that nobody can pronounce his last name. Do you know it, Stick?
Vander
Hoovel, isn't it?
Hoovel.
Yeah,
I think
something
it is.
like that.
Yep. The Hoovenator, we call him. From Matamata.
From Matamata. With the Saloon cars, Stick, you of course had you won a feature.
Now.
We'll come back to you. Must have been nice to taste victory. You haven't really done a lot of that at Bay Park this year.
Not anywhere really. Yeah, no, it's been good. First race it was good. Pretty busy out there.
So it's rubbing in about winning and all. It's
Off the
not about
back.
winning, is it?
It surely is. It's alright, go. You'll get there. Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Track was awesome. Laurie and the team have done a great job, Rog, and that. And it's pretty much the same week in, week out now. So far anyway. So it's been good.
Go. I know with the super saloons, mate, and I know how important they are to your heart. And sometimes I'd like to get to your heart with a sharp knife. But no, there are a few people that didn't read the track very well, and there was a couple of small incidents in each heat in the super saloons, weren't there?
Yeah, there were. Yeah, whether it was guys just not looking far enough ahead. Maybe that was some of it. Some of them missed their setups. Track was a bit wet in the second one, so we'll get Roger to sort that shit out. But yeah, all in all, it was a good fast track because it had that wide open line and it's fast, you know, and I was lucky enough to be able to get the car to work down low, and it feels like you're driving like a nana, but it's actually faster because you're probably travelling 70-80 metres less in distance on the bottom.
Is that the old rule of Speedway? Slow is fast.
Smooth as fast.
Smooth is fast? So you've never driven fast. I told poor old Hermo over here that he was sorry that last week Bruce Robinson was trying to get in contact with me about lining up something with the Bay Park Busters.
You tell him to fuck off, will you? We're busy.
We used to contract. Bruce, we will call you back. At some stage we'll... And what's funny is my phone's now going as well, so...
Do we answer it or what? Ringy, what's up with that?
I don't know, it's auntie again,
Oh, tell her that.
So this is
She's
one of...
worrying about the honey to come out yet?
Oh, she's probably wondering where my tea is, eh?
You gotta love having a live studio.
She's wondering where it is, or are you wondering?
Oh, nice right out the window, really.
I was thinking about asking Stick this question, but I'll just carry on with yourself, Go. Well, how do you guys find it? I mean, you're there to hold a line when you're out racing, I guess, and sometimes you have people moving up or down on you when you're out there. What do you do to sort of stop that from happening? Or?
Turn into them. Feed them the right rear.
That's
What secrets do you want to know?
the
Most of the time you try and hold your line. Sometimes you hit a hole, sometimes you run out of talent, sometimes the other driver runs out of talent, you know. So there's always rubbing and racing, as all these boys would know.
but sometimes you get it wrong.
Sometimes you get it wrong and you run a tyre over, and next thing you're over bonnets, and yeah, it just happens.
Back onto the saloons, you've done all there is to win, and I guess that feature one in the weekend must have been the biggest part of your career.
Not really. No, it was good to get one under the belt. It always is.
Sky.
A couple of other ones, yeah, the other guys had won the first two, so it was good to get the third race meeting a win. So yeah, none of us have won two, so that's a good start. Once you get a bit behind, it's hard to catch up. So
Yeah, it's boring when you win them all, though, Brent.
There was a incident in the saloon cars. Was that in front of you or behind you?
that was behind us. Me and Jeff Barron were running up first and second. He was first, I was second and behind him. And there was an incident further back, I understand, of a couple of cars coming together, and yeah, and then we come around, there was a car on top of another car facing the other way, and obviously that was the end of that race. So then they called it, So yeah, that was it for the night.
Do you think you could have won that race?
I was having a good shot. I was getting a bit of momentum, and then the yellow light came out. But yeah, no, Jeff was going good. He's been going good all season.
But I think the numbers did dictate to that. You know, one was in front and two was behind.
That's right. And we changed that in the feature, so it was even better.
I think you actually just about come up. No offence to Jeff, but you just about lapped them.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a good race.
All right, moving on to mini stocks. This is when we get to get our principal to talk again.
The real power.
The feature class. The feature class, eh? Where dreams are made.
Well, I mean, I guess that was the feature of the night, and Nick here was a winner. So no matter what either of you did, and especially, you know, he actually did win with Stick. It was nothing in comparison to what was done with
Are you going to ask the questions?
with Nick. Hey Nick, describe a quick lap at Bay Park.
A quick lap. I'm not sure. I've never done a quick lap at Bay Park, but yeah. It was all just learning, mate. Every time I went round, it was a bit different. You know, I haven't done it enough to sort of know what's normal. I was surprised though at how much more slippy it was on the race than the practice, and I guess they must have watered it. Did you before that?
As he asked the promoter.
It's called Roger's Revenge. I had a hard time at school, Nick, and that's why I've come up with this idea. And if I had my way, we were going to put a big 7-tonner out there and put heaps of water over it for the feature.
I wondered what the motivation for the race was.
Unfortunately, even I have bosses, and they pulled me into line on the night.
Sorry, mate. I got the cane too, quite a bit. All right.
Bring back the cane.
Six of the best. Nick, when you're out there and you're racing in a car that is unfamiliar to you, and you're actually having to race around other cars, and because of the nature of the event that you're part of, there were great differences in speed. You know, you're the fast guy. There were slow cars around you. What did it feel like driving around some of the slower cars? And
Oh, not too dissimilar to driving around town, really, to be honest.
Cameron Road.
Yeah.
can I ask, were you texting while you were driving?
I wasn't texting that particular night, no.
Did you take a phone call while you were driving?
No, I did not. Not that night, no. Yeah, no, it was a good time. I really liked it. I'd certainly get back in and do something like that again every week if I could. It was great. Yeah, can see why people get addicted.
I think I can just going to say relate to Nick's. The first time I hit the track, especially in my super, I can still remember it clearly. I'll go back just a little bit of a story. Joe Ferrum and I both sort of started around the same time, and I got him into it. But our first real cars were my Super Saloon and his Super Stock. And it was after the AMP show. We had the helicopters on display, and we had it planned out. The helicopters, we were allowed to get out at 4:30. He was in the helicopter, fired it up off the tanker, flew it back to the yard. I drove the truck as fast as I could, and we were into our cars were loaded on the trailers and straight to the track. And I think it was the first practice, and to get out there, it was just unreal. It was probably better than sex.
Yeah, well. We've just had a connection because the Ferrums, like I've just been living down in Mattawa and Gizzy, so we know quite a few of the same people. Yeah, and know the Ferrums pretty well. He's a bit of a ledge down that way.
Yep.
Al Smith talks about him in some of the stories off track. And he's a bit of a wild man.
Yeah, he's as wild in helicopters as he's in the stock car.
Yeah.
We're talking about stock cars, 33 cars I think there were, or something thereabouts. Great field, 3 wide. We're one of the few tracks in the country that can actually start 3 wide, and sadly the out-of-towners continue to do very, very well at Bay Park, so it'd be nice to see the likes of James Hamilton, who's a hard hitter, and a few of the other ones taking or using their bumpers a little bit more liberally, and maybe just a nice little straight line or reverse spin into the concrete. Although I did see a Rotorua car go up on its side, which was I think it was Scotty Hayward, and he decided that he was going to take on a car and put him up the wall. It was good to see that Bay Park's Walk could be proven that yes, you can ride up that one in a stock car, although in this case he didn't go over. So.
What about a mini sprint up the wall? I mean, at Bay Park?
We're talking about mini sprints at Bay Park.
Good segue.
Yeah. Well, you even know what that is. See here, mate? You're an intelligent boy as well. University?
Yeah, so I've just finished at Victoria University in Wellington, so it's nice to be down there, but yeah.
It's good to have you here, though.
Oh, thanks, Steve. It's great to be here as well.
And he was telling me it took him 2.5 hours to get from Palmy to Tauranga today. Now, you raced in Huntly.
Yeah, so we raced at we had the Waikato Champs and the Heart Jewelers Classic, I've only really been to Huntly once before, and our night was cut short because we
Got upside down.
dumped it upside down, so that was a bit stink. But yeah, we got fifth in the Waikato's, and I basically was just using the 3 heat races to sort of gear us towards the 30-lap feature race. So we
What
managed
does P become when it's upside down?
B.
B.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know, does
suppose,
it?
Oh. Yeah, probably. Yeah, B.
D.
I'd say
D.
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 Dickhead.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Dunedin.
So yeah, we managed to get third there at the Hart Jewelers Classic, so that was nice. First trophy in a while, so
You're doing pretty well, mate.
yeah, not too bad. I managed to get away from a bit of a lead in the feature, but Sean Cook and Ben Vaughan managed to run me down. So
Now, Dane's racing the midgets this year, so Dane Maxwell, so he's not doing anything in the...
yeah, he's racing midget at Bay Park, so it was a bit of a shame to lose him. He's a good competitor, and yeah, love racing against him. But
He was at Western Springs.
I said Western Springs, didn't I?
Yeah, that's what you said, sorry. Hermo. See, this is one of the things that poor old Hermo, he's got a bit of a problem that we don't have, is that Goat can use every profanity he likes. I can say anything I like because I'm Steve the effing Maori. No one's going to listen to anything that Stick says. In principle, he's also probably on the same wavelength as Hermo, but Hermo himself is training to basically. You're a young nat.
I am a young nat indeed. Yep.
And you've been working in Wellington.
Yep. So just been.
Whereabouts?
So I've been helping a few MPs out, but mainly
At the.
well, in Parliament. So not quite the Beehive, but yeah.
Have you been to the Beehive?
I've been through the Beehive. Yeah.
You're on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter. Yep.
Currently at about 13,000 tweets.
Is that right?
Yeah, I looked at it the other
I
day.
don't know about that. Might have to cut that.
The school kids, these school kids, although Hermo's not a school kid,
School kid.
these school kids, they can text 5,000 times in a week, and Hermo can tweet the same. On Twitter, tweet. On Twitter,
You're a tweaker.
Easy.
So you mean if you wanted to follow myself, I think it's Steve_the_Maori.
Yeah.
Is my Twitter, but you've got yours, which is
At C Hermansen __.
now my biggest follower is Scott Dixon, Indy 500 champ. You wouldn't have anyone bigger than that.
Oh, probably not bigger than Scott Dixon, but I think a few prime ministers follow me, so it's no big deal.
A few prime ministers. Yeah, this is. I like how he can gloat that the Right Honourable
Yep. Right Honourable John Key.
John Key
And I guess the Right Honourable Julia Gillard.
follows you on Twitter as well.
Yep.
I'm going to tweet here and ask if she'll follow me.
Have you managed to get to any race meetings?
We had John lined up to go to the New Zealand vs Australia mini stock thing last year, but I think he got called over to the UN, so unfortunately had to pull the pin. Which
Priorities, eh?
I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, or-
Mini stock racing versus the UN, but yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I would have just. Did somebody taking notes at the UN? Well, what is more important?
Watch it on TV later. I don't know.
Well, you can't watch Speedway later, so unless you're watching Maori Made Productions footage from. Yeah, that's a nice one to throw up.
Get hooked up with John Key, mate, and give him a bit of a online connection.
Hermo's, I mean, John walking one way, Hermo walking the other way. Hi, Christian, how are you? Good, thanks, John.
How's your racing? Good, mate.
So you spent a bit of time down there. You're as I said, you're a young nat. That's something you've been studying?
Yeah, so I've just finished my degree in politics and economics, so yeah, it's sort of just part and parcel living in Wellington. It's very hard to study politics and not be involved in some way, so yeah.
One of the things about being in politics is this image thing, and you obviously wear glasses, no disrespect, but big black bands, and I noticed that you find people that, is that part of the image?
Well, I don't know what...
Green bands next year.
Don't know what the image is,
Not the
but...
Greens either.
Yeah, well, it's good. I'm not really sure what the image is.
Bring in the carbon footprint.
We'd all be pugged.
No, I want to make it bigger.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
So, of course, there's a few people don't realise ex-national MP Bob Clarkson, who funded the stadium getting built. There's a bit of a segue into what you're doing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to be an MP one day, but yeah, certainly Bob Clarkson was very much instrumental in the new Bay Park, which is obviously a very nice facility. So
Didn't have a lot to say in Parliament.
no, I actually wasn't that involved around then, but yeah.
I can't ask you who the hottest MP is.
I wouldn't really want to make any comment around that. Mate, but I think John Key was awarded the sexiest politician again this year, so...
Yeah, but I'm not asking Nigel Ross the question, I'm asking you. What's the area now? Nick, where are you from?
Originally I'm from Rotorua.
So is that a red or a blue area?
I'd say it's probably a bit more red.
Yeah, actually Todd McClay's the MP there though, so
Yeah.
blue at the moment.
Yeah. But
Oh, I love it, eh? Let's just take that.
certainly growing up, I don't think it was so blue.
Alright, look, I want to show you something pretty cool. It's some amazing donuts that James Darm did. 15 donuts in 15 secs. Check this out.
Early was awesome. Got it in too hard into 3. James is going to do some donuts.
Why not?
Why not? That's a good set going too. That's how you do donuts. He's still going.
He's going to make a great interview.
And keeps it going.
James Darm's donuts were outstanding. 15, and I said 15 seconds. I think it was more like 10. The only person in here who actively does the donuts for his enjoyment is down the end there, Goat. You've done, well, everywhere, any opportunity you have, you do a donut. What's it like on the old bod when you're flicking it around like that?
Well, goats like to do it in the dirt too, you see. So yeah, it's just once you get it going round and round and round, I mean, obviously we can't do them as fast as a sprint car and get them standing up, and it's pretty fast. But the old super galoon can. They sort of get to a point and they flick, and they'll go slow and they'll flick, you know. So.
I've noticed when you've done them in the past, and I don't understand why, you're actually picking up the right front tyre, is it? When you come in, you'll throw it in, it'll pick up, and then I guess weight transfers over, and then...
all the drive's going to your left rear wheel, yeah, so it just, for some reason it does that, yeah. It just obviously rotates on your left rear and just goes like that.
When you're out doing these, I mean, the crowd loves it, and I think Speedway New Zealand needs to embrace it and encourage it.
They're clowns. Some of them.
Bay Park's got good clowns, but I think if we were to encourage these sort of things there, and like, is there a perfect track condition to do it in?
Obviously, it can't be too drivey. It's got to be nice and slick or slippery. And you know, as you saw, James, the track was quite dry by that stage, so it sits up on the marbles and plenty of horsepower, and they just get, like I say, get that momentum up. But yeah, I've done it before on a driving track, and I can't remember where. It might have been here. And you get part way round and it hooks up and it stalls and you look like a real cock.
So that was going to be my next question. So you have done that before. Have you ever tried a donut other than, I mean, Carl Hamlin tries donuts all the time on a 50-cent piece, I guess, but he calls that racing. But your stick, what about yourself? Have you ever thought, you know, you won the New Zealand champs, should I chuck one in there?
No, I think the old man would kick my ass. He did one up at Pikes Park School on Friday though. The kids wanted us to do it up there, so that was pretty cool on the grass.
Wasn't around, obviously.
Yeah, I think he looked the other way. But that was pretty loose on the grass.
So of course, the Pikes Park School, I think RMD, your sponsor,
Yep.
also took care of the car that their principal was racing.
Crash Clarkin, is it Brennan? And yeah, he did very well as well, and he was just buzzing. I spoke to him after the race, and he was yeah, very well. I don't think any teacher didn't have a smile on their face anyway.
There was one.
Well, the upside down one, or on the side.
Doug Maguire.
From where?
From what school, yeah?
Tauranga Primary.
The jumper.
It's funny, my oldest daughter Minardi, she was there and she went with her mum and they were watching, and I said, who are you there to support? And she says, well, Mum does some work at Tauranga Primary School, and she said, I'm there to watch out for Doug Maguire. And I talked to my other little girl, Victoria, and she said, who are you supporting to tour? And she's, oh, Mr. House. And of course she doesn't go to your school, but I said, when I interviewed her and I said, you know, who are you here to support? And she says, Nick House. And I laughed thinking, Victoria, it's Mr. House, darling. Yeah. It was so successful, you know, you won, it was a great night, and you've actually had a bit of feedback, haven't you, from, you know, over the hill as such?
Yeah, well, as I said earlier, I've just moved to Tauranga this year, and I was in a place called Matawai near Gizzy, and my mate who was principal there before me went to Waikato, and he's over at Te Kowhai School, and a few years ago he said, oh, we're going to do the stock car race, and I was so jealous. I was like, oh, you guys in the big smoke, you know, you get all the opportunities. And so they've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I think they do
They do it in the next class up, which is the stock cars, and of course that's their Huntley Placemakers Speedway. And I think one of the bonuses that we've got at Bay Park is that at Huntly they're limited on numbers, I believe, but at Bay Park we've got a massive field of the youth mini stocks, and the kids are able to relate because that's a class that they can move straight into, isn't it?
Well, I mean, that's positive too, but I think what he sort of, I rang him last night because he sort of texted me on Sunday, how'd you get on? I said, check out Sunlive, kept it humble.
Not that I'm voting.
Kept it humble. I said, it's all the results are on Sunlive, go and check it out. And then he didn't look, and I sort of text later, checked out that thing yet? He said, good on you. We started talking, so I rang him last night, and I guess what he was saying was that the promotion, the PR aspect of this has just been outstanding, and the way that the community's been able to engage in the process, which has been really awesome. But he had talked about the fact that they've actually got quite hurt, like one of the principals, last year or the year before, just about lost a testicle, I heard, which at any age isn't good, but he's a bit longer in the tooth, so they're probably sort of a bit
pretty serious.
Yeah, a bit serious for him. And I know that, just the talk that he was saying, it's kind of got to a point where I think they were a bit timid at first, and then the guys said, no, you're allowed to crash in to each other, and so they went for it. But I think that some of them are a bit shy, and there's been an incident over there in recent weeks where one of the principals has sort of mentioned that they're not sure if
the stock cars maybe full contact
they can put their name to it if there's going to be that kind of thing. So I said, well, what we've done is just outstanding, and I guess for those guys where they probably just used to driving around town, and non-contact kind of situation might be a lot more exciting for them, and a really good option.
I quite like to see a Texan drive type option at Speedway. I think I'd be really good at that.
But we did talk about
principles, bro. They can put in the cars, my peeps.
But we did talk about
door rubbing, bro.
What would be cool is if you had, if they did a similar format, and then we had an inter-region sort of competition. You could get top 5 or whatever from different regions, and so it add another competitive element to it.
Didn't make contact.
Teams racing.
I mean, I believe that at last count, I think there was 1,100 mini stocks nationwide, and whereas, stock cars is another huge class with about 800 cars, but, with a stock car, we're talking about cars that are anywhere up to $70,000 now, whereas a mini stock, a top one is still a $15,000 car, it's not a $70,000 car, and therefore there's a lot more parents that are prepared to allow, especially when little Johnny's coming back and saying, Mr. House wants to race my car, can he do that, Mum?
He's the champion.
I think too that, like where Jason Gillen come down to school the week before, and he related really well to the kids. He wasn't too far from their reach as far as his age and so on, and it's certainly been a really good promoter for Speedway.
Well, I tell you, those Gillen boys are certainly they're wonderful kids. Each one of them could speak in front of a crowd. They're just really polite, good, lovely parents.
And I haven't heard one principal talk negatively of the interaction they had with their sponsor or their driver. I
think if there was really one, positive. It would probably be Otomoto's. Because it's young Bradley Marsh, of course. but of course, that was also the one who got given the get to the back after he jumped the start.
Oh, yeah.
What were you doing at that stage? He's coming down the back straight, shooting down the back straight, and this guy jumps the start.
Well, as I said, I'm competitive, and but I like to win playing by the rules, and when Mac did that, I just thought, you cheeky bugger. And to be honest, I just don't think he knew what was going on. I think he's just got a bit,
saw a gap,
and he just started losing control of everything. And
where did you start from, Nick?
I was 4th on the grid. Yeah.
Any time? Fourth quickest time? Was it was done on time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roger
which was
just
a good
said.
idea, I thought. And I'd kind of held back on I didn't realise that, which is probably good because I sort of.
I was sandbagging already.
Sandbagging.
Put a bit of lead in there so he could take it out. Well, that's the thing, it's the guys up front that will be the ones that are going to get taken out, and just let that front row, and of course they're the ones who got in trouble. Now, we've spoken about Bay Park. It's such a big facility. I think it's probably the only track, and one of only maybe a couple of tracks in the North Island that we could do that. So I think it's certainly something for us to look at some stage is having a group of drivers from different tracks and different areas and doing something like that.
Yeah, well, it's certainly fun, and like I say, you know, for our school, there's been a whole heap of PR as a result of it, which has all been really positive, and you know, been a really good event to cement the community together a bit. It's been great.
Cool.
I think just the other good thing too was how Sunlive came in behind it with the sponsorship side of thing too, the advertising package that you receive from it, and that's got to go a long way too. It's, you know. Oh, was it outstanding? I mean, you know, like that's just a massive cherry on top. The you know, the lead up to, I have to say, Leona from Bay Park. You know, the way it was organised, and there was great communication, and you know, you could put a good idea out there, but it actually takes a lot of driving to make it happen and to make it happen efficiently and well. And it was a very well-oiled machine, I have to say, and that made it quite a more positive experience.
I still blame the helmet. Talking about the helmet's something that you're obviously going to have to give back to the person who owned it.
I've got that suit in my room at night, and I kind of get into it.
You better wash that suit when you get it back.
That's McIntyre's suit. Yeah, top 2 inches fit in the helmet, that's mine. Steering, that's from the gloves, they're mine. And of course, getting on that loud pedal, those are the boots, they're mine. So I get to get all of that back, but you know, I'd like to give you a little memento.
It's Talladega nights,
there we go.
At my house.
27M. That was the name on that was the number on the helmet, signed by Steve the Maori.
Oh mate, thank you.
So thank you very much.
I'll wear it with pride.
Yeah, look, it's
got the trophy cabinet.
You do that, mate.
Which is growing.
Great. He was so much faster than what you would have ever dreamed of being in your mini stock.
Probably.
I love taking the piss out of you.
Yep, and Steve, I love taking the piss out of you as well. I hear you're a bit of a Carly Rae Jepsen fan. We've had a video submitted by one of your loyal fans out there, and I'll just get the director to cut to that now. How do you feel about that, Steve?
Tory mullet, mini stock rep. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, how do I feel about that?
Some good moves.
Hey, what can I say?
Where did you learn those?
Māori boy, we've got the grooves. Yeah, ever seen a Māori go red? Thanks, Herma. Yeah, that was an interesting night. That was, of course, when we went down to support you when you were racing Adult Mini Stocks, taking the piss. Adult Mini Stocks, of course, and Wayne Hemi and the Red Walker at the season final of Palmerston North. Sorry, Robinson Holden International Speedway at Arena Manor with 2 Palmerston North.
Yep.
And yeah, we ended up in me, you, Vix Pix, and I don't know who, and of course Tori
having breakfast at
6 o'clock in the morning, and that song came on, and I happened to like that song. Check out the Miami Dolphins version of it. The cheerleaders, it's awesome. And yeah, you buggers were filming me, so I guess well done for being the only person who's ever got me back.
Have I started something?
You've done well.
Yeah.
This is where I'm going to just cut straight and all right, we're going to move on to our Facebook Alright, it's Facebook time. So we've got a few questions to ask these lot here, straight off Facebook. First question's for Stick, Brent McClymont. Ryan Decky, he's another washed up has-been, asks,
good bugger, Ryan.
With your contact with the wall on the weekend, are you considering getting a stock car?
Well, after Saturday night, I think we hit more than the stock cars, I think. That's a class, but no, there's just a bit of water down. Old Laurie put a little bit of a twinkle on the old track, and it was a little bit more than I thought. And I had to race Grandad to the first corner, so yeah, no, it was a little bit wet. But
great video Grandad put up too.
It was good. Yeah, see me disappearing out the back door.
What was the caption?
Gone for a coffee.
Yeah, no, not often you see Brent fuck up.
Yeah, thanks, Murray. Thanks, Murray.
Good old Muzz. I've got another question here for Mr. Hermansen. Terry Leverage, sorry?
Yep, carry on.
Watkins asked Hermansen about his mini stock success. I guess you did well once.
Yeah, we had a pretty good time in mini stocks. I raced 2006, 2009. We had a lot of success. Yeah, it was a good time. I don't know, we travelled around a lot. We met some cool people like Stick and all those guys, and we were travelling around with Dad's Saloon car as well. So, but yeah, we won a lot of things. I know a lot of championships at Hawke's Bay, Wellington. I never won the Manawatu's. That was really the one meeting I wanted to win, was the Manawatu Champs, being at home.
I guess it's lucky there's a chance with adult mini stocks, because I know you've raced those there last season.
Actually, I won the points there last year, and the year before in adult mini stocks, and it was a bit of a laugh. But yeah, I mean, as I said before, mini stocks in Paradise, 150 cars, and to get second there was pretty awesome. But yeah, so we did have a lot of success. And
I just find the adult mini stocks to be a complete and utter piss take. I mean, I'm sorry, but come on, get a stock car.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to adult mini stocks. I mean,
there's a lot of cons.
One of the pros though is that dad and son can have a car and race the same car on the same night. So,
so talking about dads, I know your dad's a big part of your racing.
Yeah, he certainly is. Probably more than most people's dads. He's raced a lot himself against guys like Sticky and Brent, I think.
Did he beat them? I bet he would have.
Probably not.
I think I let him win one night.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I let him win too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, so I mean, he's been quite a driving force. He puts in a lot of effort with the car and stuff. Yeah, so he's been a pretty big influence. Yeah.
We've got another question here, which was the person didn't want to have his name read out, but again, this one's for Brent McClymont, and he asked, which race car drivers from the Old Bay Park used to change your nappies?
Could be Nelly Irvine.
That'd be a question from Kevin Moore, wouldn't it?
Yes, Nelly Irvine is one.
Andy Horsburgh.
Well done. Those were the two names I was given. Andy Horsburgh and the
R&B. Did they?
Well, granted, Stick was 11.
Last year. Nelly, thank you.
Here's an interesting one. This is from Rowan Knowles. Is it difficult to read the tracks so you can get pick your setups? Bay Park, for instance.
You're asking.
I'm asking the floor.
Everybody.
Can be. Good way. I go out and watch usually these guys are out before us. You can go and see what imprint their tyres are leaving when they're going packing or going fast, and how much dust's coming off. Quite often at the beginning of the night, you take a screwdriver out and dig it into the dirt and see how far it goes in, and it'll tell you how far the water is.
And you'll do that in different parts of the track, of course?
Yep.
You play, top line, bottom line, just go for a walk around?
Only the corners, obviously, that's where you're going to do your gains. You can pass into the corner and hopefully pass around coming off. You usually do very little passing in the straights, it's done in the corners, so you need to find out what the corners are doing, and on the straight you usually got the momentum. So, being
a professional race car driver, Nick, what sort of feedback did you give your crew on Saturday night?
I was going to say I do pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good advice.
Same screwdriver?
Yeah.
Is he about that long?
Yeah.
Actually, I usually
smell too.
Yeah, I usually find it's more of like an educated guess. You sort of just have a look at what the water truck's doing. What, as Brent said, looking at what the moisture's like and all that sort of stuff. But it's really just an educated guess. You sort of learn what the different track surface does, and then just make adjustments from there. So.
A lot of
I was going to say things that can play into it though, especially Bay Park. I'll say Bay Park, probably Gisborne, Waikareka Park, tracks that are close to the waterline. We're very marshy land around Bay Park tidal, so when the tide comes in, it tends to hold the water table and the water up, so it'll stay there a lot longer. If you've got a tide that's going out, the water will just suck away. And obviously you've got wind and sun, which we have a lot of in Tauranga, can take it away. Places like Palmerston, Wellington don't seem to get the same luxuries we get.
Well, Palmy still definitely gets the wind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we've got a windmill.
Well, actually, they do have a windmill out there.
It's got a wind, actually.
Yeah.
That's probably Ree's talking about stuff. Oh, you've raced Ree's car, haven't you?
Oh, I didn't race it. I had a couple of laps in it, yeah.
His actual own car?
Yeah, his space frame that he got, 3NZ, I think.
Nice. Do you know Peter Ree's goat?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I've had another question from Zach Rayner asked, and stuff you, Zach, for asking this question, because this is a prick of a thing. Christian, do you ever lift the Vittel finger when you win?
No, I can't say I have. Although Sebastian does, and quite a lot. More than Alonso, actually.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, yeah. Big on my Ferraris. Oops, I almost crashed into the car over there. It was sitting on top of the bonnet over there. Cameraman, can you zoom in on this? So yeah, we had a bit of an incident, and like everyone is expecting it, so I'm not going to talk about it. So that was our Facebook questions for the night. You want to talk about anything else, there, guy?
Griff's happy.
Sure. Yeah, he seemed fairly
He's
happy.
at home for 22 days.
His wife will be very happy. I think we had a couple of questions from the floor, didn't we? Just a.
Oh, you was going to ask a question about the mini stock drivers, eh?
What's that, Matu?
Goat over there, he's only a young fella himself, and he's got a young fella growing up in the motorsports, and his name's Cody, a little Cody fella. When's he going to get a mini stock and drive, bro?
Bro, little bastard's too fat to get in one.
Oh, how old is he now?
23.
Well done, Goat. I think that's correct.
Oh, it's not your fella then.
Oh, well,
How old are you been, bro?
Me? I'm telling you. I'm a little bit older than him.
Oh, not even now.
I let him have a go on the saloon car, but he put it on the wall.
You weren't even there when he raced either.
I know, that's what pissed me off even more. I had to fix the fucking thing. And Edwards drove my truck into a jumbo bin and tore the side out of the Freightliner and didn't own up to it until I found blue plastic scattered all the way into where it parks.
And then later on, Nato came down and lit your wheelie bin on fire. Come on, cry about something else.
Yeah, it fucking burnt it to nothing. And the whole workshop was covered in that red shit from all those firecrackers going off. And his crew guy crashed my helicopter, so I made him buy it.
Well done.
Great night.
Great night. And talking about great nights, next meeting's the 15th of December. It's a Santa meeting, a Super Santa meeting here at Bay Park Speedway.
Obviously, you're not the Santa.
No. Mrs. Claus will be there.
Actually, we could call you Santa that climbed down the chimney and got a bit of soot on him, no way.
Do you know what Santa Claus's wife's name was? No. Merry Christmas. Of course, I mean, we've got the modifieds. We've got Jamie Fox from Auckland. That guy is just supersonic out there in those old cast iron dungers. In the modifieds. I think it'd be quite cool. We've got to try and tee something up so we get him and Dam maybe do start on the other side of and see who can catch who the
Well,
first.
Emerson used to run his modified with the sprint cars at Rotorua. Many times he did that without changing the cone or the wing, and he
Galbraith did the same.
Galbraith, and he used to run up top three with them.
Yeah.
And rumour has it, actually I think it's fact, Skinny Colson put a wing on the roof of the 66S, I guess it was, at Waka Park, and
raced full game, didn't it? Back in a few years ago now.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
The thing is, if they get in front of you, just, like I say, back the right. I watched them do it, Lance Jennings and him, and two, I think, who was the wild man?
Phil Game.
Phil Game.
Yep.
And Galbraith, I think, and Skinny got pissed off, so just back the right rear into him.
That's how you do it.
Solved.
That is definitely how you do it. Alright guys, that's coming to the end of our show tonight, so don't forget, 15th of December, as I said, we've got the Christmas special at Bay Park Speedway featuring the modifieds, Jamie Fox, and I think we've got about 9 cars coming from Auckland. Going to try and get a few more cars from Wellington, and hopefully some from the West Coast as well. So just don't forget to give modified drivers watching, give Roger a call, just confirm your entries. So guys, look, we're going to quick thank you to Mr. Emerson, Brent Emerson. Thank you very much for coming along tonight.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure again.
Do you want to thank your sponsors quickly?
Yes, I'd like to say thank you to Carry More, Elf Oils.
Carry More. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Performance products.
Sorry, thanks for coming, Steve.
Tony Van Hoovenator. Who else? Melissa.
Me.
Steve the Maori.
Thank you. And that's right. And of course, Lovelady race cars, the greatest race cars, and the smallest little, biggest
I did say
little.
Elf that make the best fuel in the country, didn't it?
Yes, of course. And Brent, moving on to you.
Great team of guys behind us, and the crew, James and Anita, my wife Hayley, mum and dad, R&D Rawsons, on-site caterers, Link Up Paint Supplies,
Bugsy.
Gopu Tyres,
Pugsy.
Fibre
We're going to
Concept,
thank Pugsy. Go
Thank you,
Pugsy.
Pugsy.
There was a reason too, because Pugsy called me maybe, alright?
Yep, he never saw hit on Sunday because we dropped him off at 4 o'clock. So, Pro Blast, Visual Effects, thanks Tony for a great job on the car.
Awesome colour schemes.
K-Mac.
K-Mac.
Awesome chassis.
And of course, Nick, you actually had sponsors, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I had a Hypermac on my back there and Flame Crusher. And can't go without saying thanks to Jason Gillen for all his help, and of course Welcome Bay School and community. Yeah.
It's a great community. Love the place. I used to live there. And of course, the man who travelled so far up just because I'd taken the piss out of him, just so he could take the piss out of me.
The young Nat.
The young Nat, the future PM.
Yeah, it could be.
Hashtag Hermo4PM.
Only if you guys vote for him.
Yeah, Christian Hermansen, mate. Thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
mate.
no worries, Steve. Thanks for having me as well. Obviously, I've got to say a quick thanks to my sponsors as well. Hermansen Transport, Hartley Engines and Motorsports, Super Shocks, Brecker and First Signs.
What's really cool about being Steve the Maori is that...
Just a quick question, sorry. Will your dad ever race again? Or have you taken all his money?
Well, a bit of both. Nah, he was quite good. He parked up the race car when I was in my last year of mini stocks, and just so we could do a lot of travelling. I think we did 36 meetings that year. So
you still got the car?
No, he sold it. I think it's hanging around Wellington now. But I think he'd love to get back into it. He actually drove my Minisprint at the end of the last year, and actually broke it. So
he's out.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah, forget it.
Get out.
I've retired him.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. All right, well, that sort of wraps the show up. I have the bonus of these guys talk about their sponsors, but in a moment's time, I'm actually going to show you who our sponsors are. For the first time in the history of DirtWorX, you want to sign us off?
Dirts for racing, asphalt's are getting there. I'm Steve the Maori, and this has been DirtWorX.
Oh my gosh, I so forgot. Barclay Engraver, driver of the night. Matt Smith, well done in the Hypermat copy, I think they called it. Matt Smith, you were my driver of the night, well done.